This is the bicycle I went from Longmont, Colorado to Tucson, Arizona on. I very much like this bike for touring for a couple of reasons. A lot of people will use the heavy metal, strong touring bikes, but they weigh 30 to 35 pounds. This one is a thick carbon. It's actually technically a mountain bike, but there's no shock absorbers. It's 23 pounds, thick carbon, and has everything that I think someone needs to tour on. It has 6 water bottle holders. It has a place to put racks on the front and the back if you want to put racks on both. A lot of touring bikes have more than one chain ring in the front for additional options and a derailleur. This bike does not. I didn't think I really needed it. It's got the one chain ring in front, and it's got quite a range in the back. So there's the first gear is really plenty for getting up even the steepest hills for me. I have a 68-pound bike with the equipment on it, and I'm 64 years old, and I had no problem with it. So I think that's probably okay. It's simple. There's less things to go wrong, and I also prefer SPD clips. I've seen people touring without clips, but they're so much more efficient. And the nice thing about SPDs is they're easy to get on and off, and then when you walk into a store, you don't have to change your shoes or you don't make that clicking sound, and they're a lot more comfortable. So I prefer SPDs. It has bigger tires. It has mountain bike wheels and bigger tires. I think that's very important. When you're going over rocks, or you're going over crap on the shoulder of the road, or you have a bad road, the bigger tires are much better and take the weight better. And you don't lose a lot on rolling resistance compared to a smaller tire if it's a good one. Also, you have to have tubeless tires. They are the only way to go. Once you've had them on your bike a while and tested them and not losing air in them, there's nothing like them. Matter of fact, I had a situation where I got a mesquite spine in the tire, and if you take a look, it went in the sidewall, so all I did was cut it off and put a piece of Gorilla Tape over the side, and it worked perfect. I probably couldn't do that if it was in the tread, but that worked out very nicely. Tubeless tires do work, and they work very well. As far as the equipment on the bike that I carried a lot of stuff. On the handlebars, I had several things. I had a GoPro. I have a headlight. I have a little bike computer just to see how far I went and the speed. This is the bicycle computer. Small, lightweight, fairly inexpensive, probably $40, $50, something like that. And it shows the speed, and it shows the distance. This is the distance I went on the last day of my trip, 45.21 miles. And then you can just click it. The average was 13.6 miles per hour. And I'm not sure what that is. I'm still trying to figure that one out. This is the odometer since I've had this bike computer, which I got just before the trip, so 1,119 miles. And that is the time, the current time, and that is the amount of moving time that I had on the bicycle when I reset it. And again, back to the distance for the trip. Very handy, particularly the speed. And I had a cell phone holder, and that's almost imperative because I used Google Maps a lot on this trip. It took me, when I used the bicycle option and I put in the starting point and the destination, it would almost always choose all the bicycle paths, which was very nice. It made a couple of mistakes and took me places I really didn't want to go, but it wasn't far off, and I really enjoyed that. Another thing I did was put this on it, and this sticks out a ways so that when a car goes by you, you're not the thickness of the bicycle, you're the thickness of the bicycle and the flag. And I think people moved over better for that. I was on the Bicycle Touring Facebook page, and some people they had some creative solutions. Some people use the swimming pool noodles, the long things. That's a great idea too. So there's some good ways to do that. Of course, I always use tail lights, and you have different options on blinking. I like the blinking options. It really stands out better. This one will actually cause epileptic seizures. It's so bright, which is nice. And then I have 2 very, very nice bike packs. You want them to be waterproof. Then I keep my rain jacket outside in case I need it. It makes it easier to get to. And then, of course, you have to bring extra shoes. That's something that's imperative, because when you go walking around a restaurant or a grocery store, you do not want to be walking in your bicycle shoes. It's just not that fun. And then I have several different types of bag systems. This right here is pretty much for things I'll need right away. It has my battery backup for my phone. One battery backup handles the phone a very long day. I've got a bag right here, which is for things like a camera, money, that kind of thing that I don't get to that often, but I do now and then. And then this right down here was for snacks and foods and mask, because some places still require a mask. Yeah, and then of course water bottle holders. And I actually used, as far as water bottle holders, I used water or Gatorade, and I always put a pinch of Boulder salt, or a salt that's a complete salt, like that has magnesium chloride and sodium chloride in it. As far as what was in the packs, let's show that. These are very waterproof too. I have two different bags. One's for stuff I will need at night, and one's for stuff that I need that I might need during the day. Stuff at night would be all my toiletries and medicines and all that kind of crap in there. And then I have my charging cords, which I only need at night, and then a book, which was maybe kind of stupid, because by the time you get done organizing all your stuff, you pretty much just want to sleep. I think I read one paragraph in 18 days. Medicines for 17 days is surprising how much you need. And then clothes, which I put in a bag like this. And I have a system where if it's dirty, I fold it. If it's clean, I roll it. So I know which ones are dirty and which ones aren't. And that just makes it convenient. And what I usually do is at night, I take my regular clothes out, like I'm wearing now, and put those on, go eat dinner, whatever, come back, put them back in the bag, take out what I need for the next day, and then put it back in the bag. So I'm pretty much ready in the morning. You may be surprised to see a couple other things. I actually brought a Chromebook, which isn't too heavy, but still has got some weight to it. I was doing some GoPro videos, and it was easier to look at them on here than it was my phone. And one other thing in here that you might be surprised at is Ziploc bags. Now, the reason I need these is at night I would fill these with ice, and I would put them on my legs to cool them off and take the swelling down. After I was doing cold baths, but after 3 or 4 times of that and releasing a lot of 4-letter words out of my mouth, I decided, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'll just use the ice bags. And I think it made a difference. I think my legs were more refreshed in the morning. Okay, and let's see, on the other side. Oh, on the back I have a little sign of where I was going, because a lot of people would ask, or it'd be nice to tell them so they didn't have to ask, and that was kind of fun. And then what we have in this bag here, this is the temporary stuff that I might need right away. Gorilla Tape, which I was using for my tire. This is all the repair equipment, tubes, tools that I need to repair the bicycle. This is in that area of the pack where I might open it up and need to open it up. A chair, very comfortable chair. I think it's 12 ounces, very handy. There's just times when there's nothing to sit on. You're in the middle of nowhere, and you can either sit on spines and plants and dirt, or sit in your chair. And you just want to spend 15 minutes resting. That was very handy. And this is a cap that I wore when I didn't want to wear my helmet. And this is clothes that are cold weather clothes. If all of a sudden I get hit by some cold weather, which did not happen on this trip, but it has, I'm always paranoid about that, because I get cold fairly easy because I'm older than God. And so this has a lot of a very lightweight wool sweater, a few things like that that don't weigh a lot but are warm. Wool is very nice because it keeps you warm, doesn't smell, and it's a good material for something like this. And I think that is about it in this this part of the pack. I did have, well, I did keep some extra food in here, and then I would put it in the front when I needed it, but not a lot left there. And that's pretty much it for this bicycle. I think my big issue was water. I would keep some extra water and Gatorade in the temporary pack if I knew it was going to be a very long day. I did forget this bag here, which was, I think I mentioned this before, but it has things like camera, and it has an extra set of earbuds, which I would use to listen to Google Maps or to listen to music. And I had a little tripod for my GoPro or my camera, and that's pretty much it. And my credit cards in there, credit cards and cash. So all that added up to be some significant weight. You could probably not carry some of that stuff, but it kind of made the trip more enjoyable to be able to record it and use those things. So, and yeah, I believe that's about all I needed to say on that. I don't know if I mentioned disc brakes. You need disc brakes, definitely. This is a disc brake, which I think is critical for a bicycle tour with lots of weight on your bike. And what it is you've got a disc and you have two pads inside this mechanism which squeeze the disc just like you would on an automobile.